Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this earth plane, welcome here. We try to I love fun. So we tried to go on live, which was a little bit challenging because either one of us was live and not the two of us, and then we were cutting out. So we decided to just record it, and then we can actually just upload it into our group on the other channels. So very pleased to see you here today. And today we're going to talk about Ascension Symptoms, which are, a lot is going on at the moment. So I give you the word to Debbie, and then we're going to go from there.
Thank you, Brigitte. Well, the Ascension Symptoms are something that I think a lot of people are really feeling just now, and not everyone will be aware of it. We get these aches and pains and a bit foggy brain, and we're like, oh, I've got foggy brain today. Maybe it was something I ate yesterday, or, the glass of wine I had. But what we don't do is we don't put it into context of what's going on just now on the planet, which is what we're going through, this Ascension Symptom process of the planet being upgraded and the collective, the humanity as a collective. So I think understanding some of the Ascension Symptoms, that they might just be temporary just now. I mean, of course, some of these things might be related to, problems that you have maybe with, eating certain foods that you're maybe allergic to. But a lot of this will be temporary, and it will start to ease off in the next, few weeks, months, and become less of a problem for us as our bodies turn to crystalline from that dense, heavy 3D-ness, So if you're not aware, maybe Brigitte, you could just talk about the actual ascension and what is happening. Because, the symptoms are one thing, but, what we're going through just now, although it's, it's very prominent in social media just now, and it's getting talked about by everyone, there might be still some people that are not quite sure what's going on and what's going to be happening, from Sunday, Monday, is it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
3 days?
The Monday is the 21st of December, yeah. So let's start first, that we are a high conscious being. And what does that mean? That is, we are an energy that actually contains all different layers. So we have been, some people call it our soul, our higher self. It's a lot of different names, and it's all connected to each other, which makes you, your high conscious being, because you're. So when you come here, before you actually are birthed, that's when you come into your physical form, and what happens then is that you are a high conscious being with high vibrations, high frequencies, in a denser body. And some people are born into a higher frequency body, but most of the people are actually born into a lower frequency body, a dense body. And that's what we actually are alchemizing at the moment, because the globe is going from 3D to 5D. It's not that we're going to leave this plane, or not at all. The only thing is that, because some people think, they come, with those crafts, they come and pick us up. There are different things about that, but it's, it's not, we will stay here on planet Earth, and we will just live a different life. And that life is full of abundance and love and joy and unity and
less fear.
And that's, exactly, less fear, because that's what we've been having for many thousands of years. We have been living in fear and greed and wars and anger, and that's all gonna be
lots of ego. The ego's falling away now from a lot of us, the ego, and the more the ego falls away, and that's something that people might be aware of, that they're less judgmental, they're more intolerant of judgmental people or the consumerism on the planet. We're shedding that ego and becoming what we came here to learn and become, which is incredible.
Yeah, and I also think that because the further we are getting in our ascension journey, awakening journey, then the more, literally, what you said is we can become more aware, but we also become we get more compassion, more love for ourselves, and because we've got more compassion and love for ourselves, we will actually be able to get that out to other human beings, and to not only human beings, but the nature and the animals, and we are way more living on a conscious level than that we have been living before, which is for me it's super exciting.
And of course the fifth dimension is one of love and compassion, so that's where we're heading into from that 3D denseness. We're passing through the 4D just now into that 5D, and it is incredible. So some of the things that happen, and we've had a lot of these things this year have been, and they seem to be getting a little bit worse. One of the worst things for me is tiredness, and you know me, I sleep a lot. I go to bed at night really, really tired, and then I'm pretty much usually sleeping right through. Occasionally I wake up at 3 or 4, which again can be an ascension symptom. My next one is foggy brain, which it's been kind of a little bad for me recently, that fogginess that I get, and of course the ringing in the ears. Ringing in the ears for me has been, so sometimes I'm like, it's usually my left, occasionally my right, but yeah, there's so many symptoms that come. We could probably name just about every ache and pain and thing in, it's part of the ascension process, because the body is, like you said, it's that dense, heavy 3D thing that is alchemizing right now. So there's going to be symptoms, and it's no surprise that, depression would be one, anxiety, that fogginess in the brain, feeling nauseous, which is one I've been feeling the last few days, really just out of the blue, feeling, a little bit sick. And you get a lot of tingling, don't you?
Yeah. So I've opposite to you, like my sleeping patterns have been out, for over a year now, since we actually moved here to Canada, because since then I sleep so little. It's only a couple of hours a night, and I used to go to bed at around 10, and I slept till 6, which now I go to bed often around 12, 1, and then sleep for only 3-4 hours, and then I'm awake again, and then so, and I got also like you, the high pinch sounds in my ear, but also ear pain sometimes. Just like it's very very significant, and I know it's that they want to clear everything and get I also think downloads, that we get information via that.
Sure.
Which we're gonna talk about in another video, because that's a whole different kettle of fish. But also tingling on my skin. So what happens is that I feel I can feel the energy. I can feel it over my whole body. And actually, funny enough, that since a couple of weeks now, I also get electrical shocks, even without touching any electrical equipment, or sorry, when I've got, for example, when I do got some electrical equipment like my laptop or something, or I even got my phone in my hands, I get actually electronic shocks, which is very apparently also that your body, that you're going into another ascension, and then your body is crystallizing that. But there's a lot of things, a headache.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've had so many migraines recently.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The flashing, and then that really big pain afterwards and feeling sick. Migraines have been so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, migraines, headaches, the eyesight, blurry eyesight, swollen eyes is one of them. You know, that's so out of the blue, you just cannot see anything anymore. Muscle pain, joints pain, the heart palpitations is one of them. So what's good about it, what I learned, and I think what you also learned, is to be aware that this has to do with the ascension, without the clearing all the darker, denser, negative stuff out of our bodies, out of our systems. And it's not our physical body, but also our aura, you know, that has to be cleaned. Because what happens is, during our life, we actually, every experience, what we get is, it's either, it will all be stored in our body. So, and your body has memory to literally store it in the body, which will stick there if you don't do anything with it. So which is happening now is that it's actually clearing out all those lower energy things in our bodies. So that might sometimes be your back or your hip or your knee, or, you know, or your headache, or so it's but as soon as you say, okay, clear it out, that's what I now do, you know.
Yeah, and of course it can be trauma and experiences from past lives too. And I think that because we're going through this ascension just now, you know, and we're going this winter solstice, Jupiter and Saturn have never been so close since, is it 1623? So this year is, I mean, it happens every 20 years, but this year is particularly special. And we can see that with what's going on in the world just now, you know, with the what's, you know, come about this year. And I do, that's all connected to, and it's no, we can't say it's not connected with us all being tied down into our homes and told to stay at home, and, you know, that's sort of whole weird paradigm that's going on just now around us. I mean, there's never been, I don't think in history, another dense year like we've been through, with so the fear narrative being pushed so much. But I think it's also been, although, you know, it's been very difficult for a lot of people, but I think it's also been, it's going to turn out to be one of the best years ever because of the clearing out that's got done. Not just on a spiritual level, but, you know, physically and across the planet, of, you know, what's happening. Which we can talk about another day. It's quite a heavy subject, that one. But yeah, past lifetime trauma and all that kind of stuff. And I think that this year's particularly special for us. And we've got to be really aware that a lot of this past trauma is being cleared, because 2020 was always going to be the year it happened. You know, we're in that age of Aquarius now. All the dense last 2,000 years is being cleared out, and it's a lot to be cleared out. There was a lot of really dark energies ruling the planet, and, you know, just in our consciousness for so long, that we're coming into, this could never be stopped because it's the age of Aquarius. We're going into that much lighter, more spiritual reality and dimension.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And I think also that's what, because all the information that we have been fed, I have to be careful because I don't want to use to, you know, I don't want to have this video be kicked off.
No, it's censorship, yeah.
So we have been indoctrinated with, you know, information, which appears a lot of the information is actually not completely true or not at all. And but that also, you know, is something that we have to clear, you know, and as a collective, it's not, and we've got our own processes that we are going through. And on a collective base, you know, globally, we are also, you know, clearing a whole lot of things that should not be here anymore, that doesn't serve for for our highest good, for the globe's, for Mother Earth's highest good, because there is being too much control, and that's what we literally also physically, it's not only our own stuff, but also what's going on around us is what we have been taken on board in our body, and that's what we're clearing, and we feel it, and it's, yeah, I think it's yes, and it's a very intense time, it's, of course, and it's very challenging, and I think that all of us had, to some extent have had, challenges, but I think, it's the best growth year, we can ever imagine. This is honestly.
Well, look at the amount of people that woke up. I mean, me included, this year. I mean, I thought I was pretty awake before until end of February, beginning of March. And, when you fully wake up and you start to see what's going on underneath, on the dark side, and you're like, wow, well, I knew about that, but I wasn't linking it to what was going on, because we've been taught since birth to trust our governments and our elders and our local people that are in charge, our bosses, everybody, but not everybody's always out for our higher greater good, and to be honest, none of them have been, which has become really uncovered in the last few months. But this is what's clearing, and what will emerge in this new earth is just going to be incredible. So, the ascension symptoms are nothing to go through really compared to what we're coming into. And that's freedom. I feel sometimes like we're actually, we've been in straitjackets that have had chains around it. And we're breaking out of those chains and those straitjackets, and we're free thinkers again. We're thinking for ourselves. We're becoming compassionate. We've always felt like this anyway. We've longed to be part of communities because we've never felt like we fitted in the normal world. And, that's again what's happened in the last few years. We've been finding our tribes have been coming together, and the enlightened and awakened have been finding each other across the globe. And I just think that's incredible. We've all, the call went out.
Yeah, exactly.
A few years ago, it was like we were all zapped. Time to wake up. The call went out to the star seeds and the light workers, and we all started to go, whoa. It was like we came back online, wasn't it? Yeah. And of course, that's what they talk about just now is the DNA upgrades that we're going through. So we've got 12 strands of DNA, is it?
Yeah.
12, isn't it? There's 2 online, and the mainstream scientific world call the other 10 junk DNA. Exactly. Not used. But this is what a lot of people are saying is coming back online now, that other 10 strands of DNA. So we'll have all 12 activated and online. I mean, who knows where that's going to take us?
Yeah, it's amazing that we only know this. Literally, we only know this, and there's a whole world outside this world. And and when you start to see that, and you start to or hear them or feel them, and you start to connect with that other world that we cannot see. Yeah. And I think that's also for me one of the biggest. I think for a lot of people, because they said, yeah, but what to believe, when they talk about news or they talk about certain subjects, but go back to your gut feeling, to your soul. What does it tell you? And I think that's we have been created to be so far divided from, we've been manipulated to be so far, gone from our own soul and what we feel. Yeah. And because we're not used to use that anymore, and which we were in, many thousands of years. That's what, especially women, we were using that as a tool. But but
that's why they got rid of the witches.
Yeah,
because they were witches were the witch
which literally means wise woman working with
Yes,
nature.
and it
Yeah.
was turned into this evil old lady, hag lady living in the woods, cooking children in their cauldron, because they wanted to turn the attention away from the power of the wise women who could heal with herbs, and worked in a natural way with we worked with our own powers.
Yeah.
So the masculine, who were dominating the world, had to get rid of us somehow, because they knew if we rose up too high, which is what's happening now, if we rose too high, their dark forces wouldn't work anymore. No. And that's what's happening now. The collective are rising. I mean, hate to quote the Dalai Lama, but he said the Western woman will save the world.
Yeah, and I think it is what,
we've risen up this year. I mean, if you look at all the round tables on YouTube, most of them are run by women. They're speaking out.
Exactly.
And people like Dr. Christian Northrup and Laura Eisenhower and Magenta Pixie and all these people, they have been speaking out loud and proud and saying, this is how we get through this. This is what we're going through. And they've been shut down and deactivated on certain platforms, and and it's because we're so close. They're talking the truth, but they're also so close to creating this huge shift between us all. And also the great thing that's happened is we're going to talk about this another day as well. The masculine.
You're so busy.
We've got so much to talk about. The actual proper divine masculine is
just wanted to say that. Yeah,
it's rising up too with us.
Yeah,
because the masculinity has been attacked as well in the last few decades, and for other reasons that we can talk about another day. And they've been trying to sort of cross over the feminine and masculine energies, and luckily the masculine is rising again as now, but because the feminine are doing the healing now, the masculine then can start to heal. And it's just such an incredible thing.
That's I got so many goosebumps.
Me too. My body's tingling.
Yeah, this is when you get me excited, because this.
And you know that it's the truth, because your whole body vibrates.
And and every woman and man are equally with divine feminine and divine masculine energy within them. So but that's and we will see that, because it's not the masculine is better or the feminine energy is better. No, we've got all the, and it's not because you're a woman that you've got maybe a little bit more masculine or more feminine energy. There's nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with the body you're in.
Exactly, but it's total different energies. So
and they balance each other out, and they're needed. You need the masculine and the feminine to survive.
Exactly, and I think that's something that we should really consider again. That it's not either or, it's and and that makes one. Literally, that makes one. So yeah, that's.
We could rant all day, but we will talk about the masculine and the divine masculine, divine feminine energies.
Yeah. Because the more we ascend, the more we become aware of that, and the more important it becomes also. So that's. So
yeah. And what I think is happening now as a collective is that we're coming back to that understanding and knowing that both energies are needed. But what's exciting this year, and of course because I've been single for a long time, we're supposed to be meeting our twin flames this year, and that's another one I'd like to talk about another day. It's a twin flame union or reunion, and the twins finding each other again, which is really exciting.
That's big. That's where December 21st is well known for, and I think that it's not for everyone that they meet their twin flame, but that's also because you are actually ascending and awakening. It's often inevitable that this is also going to be happening. And the other thing that I wanted to add also to this, because we don't want to make those videos too long, is that regards this Ascension Symptoms, there are also things like you already touched on anxiety, very emotional. You can suddenly start to cry without knowing that, or feel restless. You feel that very unsettled feeling within you. A couple of tips that what I do is, and what helps me is that meditation is key. Meditation is key, and even if you don't do any meditation yet, install the Insight Timer on your iPhone or on your phone. The app, it's free. You can download free meditation. Listen to just a guided meditation for a couple of minutes. Don't start off with like a 15 or 20 or a half an hour one, because that's too long. 5 minutes, that's more than enough. And then choose a breathing exercise or meditation, which is just pay attention.
Breathing is very important just now.
Yeah, exactly. And drinking lots and lots of water. We need more water than ever, because water is actually guiding the frequencies. So we have to make sure that we can get rid of that quicker out of our system. So because we are actually ascending, we get more dense energies coming loose, dense beliefs, which we want to get rid of out of our system, and that helps. Water is helping with that. The other thing is, what really helps me is to understand that whatever you're feeling, it's not you, it's a physical experience. So what happens then is, because if you think it's you, then this is you then. But if it's your physical,
you're attaching yourself to it.
Exactly. So
we don't want to be attached to anything just now. We want to release all attachments to relationships that are maybe not working out, a job that you hate, anything that you're not liking just now, to not, like you say, attach to it, because attaching to things like that just keeps us in that dense energy. We have to right now, even if it's just for the next few weeks, to be right. I'm not attached to that. I understand, that I'm going through this problem just now, but I'm not attached to the outcome of it.
Exactly.
And I release and surrender it. And you can always ask your team as well. Team, can you come in and help clear this for me?
Yeah. Well, we talk about teams in another video. We have to make.
But even now, even if you don't know who your spiritual team is, it's fine. You just say, team,
exactly.
Spiritual team, help me come and clear this, please. They're there. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's, oh my God, it's just such an
it's the most
huge subject.
It's literally the most exciting times of the year. It's not because it's Christmas, but it's because it is, for thousands of years. This had never happened before.
The winter solstice has always been the most important day of the year. But they changed it to the 25th to take, I think, they created the Christmas Day thing to take us away from that 21st. Yeah. And on the 21st, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to be up the forest, hanging on to trees.
Yeah.
Really grounding myself and meditating.
Yeah. So we would love to hear from you guys. What are your Ascension symptoms? Do you experience symptoms which you were not aware of, or maybe you were, physical or maybe emotional symptoms? We would love to hear from you. We would have loved to do this live, but it didn't work for now. Next time, hopefully, we have sorted this out. Yeah. We are so excited, and so grateful that you are here, that you see this video. And we cannot wait to make more and more and, guide you through this whole process.
But I think the main thing is right now is to let go of that fear. If you have any, don't sit in that sort of energy that everything's going wrong just now, because most of the time the tower has to fall before you can rebuild again. And these tower moments, or going through things that create anxiety or stress in our lives, are there to teach us.
Listen, there is stress. There is things around you that are not actually are not nice to go through or to be challenging. And that's okay, because that's the same, you know, when you detach yourself from that and you can only look at it, then it's actually then it's way easier to deal with it and accept it. Okay, it's there. It's, for example, you know, if you have to wear those things over your head, which you're not, you know, which you maybe don't want to do, you can say, and you know, if there's a situation that you really have to do, you say, okay, you say to yourself, I don't give consent. You can put it on if you still want to go ahead with it, or you know, if you are exempt, you know, then it's a different way. But if you cannot go anywhere without, you know, putting the thing on, just, you know, yeah, look at it from a distance, and you know, and it's yeah, it's a different outcome. So this will all pass.
It will. Everything always passes, doesn't it? But it's exciting times, and yeah. So we should probably wrap this up now, because we could sit and talk for days.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be
no, taking too long.
Too long and everybody's time up too much. But we hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know if you did. We're kind of new to all this, putting these things out there, and you know, it's exciting times, and you know, we just feel like we're ready now to come out and share our experiences and the messages, and you know, bring everyone together as much as we can.
Yeah, so if you've got friends that you know, or people that you know that might benefit, you know, from this, or in the same you know, you don't have to add them, but maybe you can suggest, you know, our channel to them, you know, and then they can decide if they want to come and join us. We also are starting now our own YouTube channel, which is very exciting for us, because we have never done that before. So we're going to upload this video also on our YouTube channel. And we are also, you know, on Instagram. So yeah, we would love to hear more from you and see what we can do for you. Yeah. Okay, sending you lots of love.
Okay.
Bye. Well, that